At this point, the Brooklyn Nets just have to be cursed. Last year in the playoffs, the Nets were almost on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals, yet Kevin Durant's foot was a little too big and was on the line, sending Game 7 to overtime where they eventually lost. They've only had 2 playoff series wins in the last 10 years, and one of those came last season before they lost to the Bucks in the second round. Everyone thought that this year would finally be their year, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden finally being available to play together for more than a few games. Then, just as quickly as the hope for a title began, it slowly started to decline until the Nets essentially collapsed as a team. A lot of NBA fans are confused as to what exactly went wrong for the Nets, and we're here to try and break that down for you today. Welcome back to our channel, and today we're going to be going over the rise and fall of the 2021-2022 Brooklyn Nets. Sit back and enjoy. We'll start at the beginning of a season where things immediately started to go wrong for the Nets. New York passed a vaccine mandate right before the start of the season to try and stop the spread of COVID. For most players on the team, this was a simple fix as they all got their vaccines and were available to play when the season officially kicked off. However, Kyrie Irving, as we all know, refused to get vaccinated, even when he was fully aware that he would end up missing home games because of it. This wasn't even the first time Irving has been the face of a controversial topic, as he infamously stated that he was a flat earth believer a few years prior and received tons of criticism for it. With Irving refusing to get the shot, the Nets were without one of their 3 superstars and got off to a rather slow start at 2-3. However, November was rather kind to them, as the Nets would go on to win 12 out of their next 15 contests and shoot themselves up to the top of the standings. Kevin Durant was putting up an MVP season, while James Harden wasn't really playing his best, but he was still serviceable for the most part. They continued to keep playing at a relatively respectable level going into the new year. However, this was when things started to decline rapidly for Brooklyn. The Nets would go on a major losing streak at the end of January, losing 11 straight games and only winning 5 games total from January 13th to February 24th. It was also during this cold stretch that there was some drama between the big 3. Kyrie Irving was still refusing to get the vaccine and holding out, essentially sabotaging the Nets' championship hopes. Then word came out that Durant was fed up with the lack of effort and hustle put in by James Harden. Harden had been in and out of the starting lineup leading to the trade deadline, dealing with a hamstring injury. He also showed up late for a game on February 8th against the Celtics, which ultimately led to him being traded. Harden was traded for Ben Simmons, a guy who hadn't played since last year's playoffs after being ridiculed by 76ers fans over the offseason. The Nets were hopeful that he would play for them at some point this season and maybe could regain some hope for winning an NBA title. Yet Simmons would never play for the Nets this season, and Kyrie wasn't allowed to play home games until the very end of the season. But by that point, the Nets had struggled to mesh together as a team and limped into the play-in tournament as a 7 seed. They barely scraped by against the Cavaliers and hoped that they could use that win to grab some momentum going into their series against the Boston Celtics. Yet the Nets never even stood a chance, losing in 4 straight games and not even sniffing a chance at an NBA title. After that embarrassing season loss, Kevin Durant requested a trade out of Brooklyn, and Kyrie has been in several trade rumors. If both players are shipped out this offseason, Brooklyn's Big 3 will have only played a total of 16 games together, marking one of the most short-lived super teams in recent NBA history. You do have to feel for Brooklyn Nets fans who have lived through so much heartbreak and pain over the years, only to have their chance vanish nearly as quickly as it appeared. Hopefully the Nets can rebuild through trades for their superstars and come back stronger in the future. Otherwise, it's going to be a very painful several years as a Nets fan. But that's all the time that we have for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss another video. We'll see you guys next time.